this year in Rhode Island.
Yeah, you told me.
Oh. That's a bummer.
I'm right.
Oh. Whew. Oh boy. Yeah, this lady that came in to the store yesterday to buy some stuff. She's a big UConn women's basketball fan. She goes to the Final Four every year and everything, and she's going to the parade today. And we happen to be talking about UConn women for next year. She said to me, she goes, the preseason poll is out. She said they got them ranked third. I said, third? She goes, yeah. She said they got Notre Dame and South Carolina 1 and 2. I said, oh, okay.
Well, when you're losing your 3 best players.
Yeah. And I don't think Notre Dame is losing. I don't think Notre Dame is losing to anybody really.
Right.
That's another thing I can do with this.
What?
If you want to pull up the sites, I can have them up in the corner, or down in the corner, wherever on the screen, in a little box. Come on.
What do you mean?
When you're talking, like when you're talking about certain sites, you can actually have it on the screen.
Oh.
Like if we're talking about WWE.com,
right?
You can put that up there.
Well, I'm not giving them free promotion.
No, that's true. Did they give us free promotion? Hell no.
Hell no.
Although with some
they
of the
just steal our storylines.
Although with some of the predictions you've made in the past, they should be taking our storylines. How's work?
That's like work.
Yeah. Well, I guess 6 days worth of work over at Pete's probably turned into about 6 weeks.
What do you mean?
Well, after we finish the studio, he's got to get one of those saws that cut cement.
Okay.
Because the people that are doing the train tracks came over the other day Friday when we were there and told Pete that they're going to need him to cut 2 holes in the walls downstairs so they can run pipe from inside his building down there to outside so that when it rains it doesn't flood. So Pete's like, yeah, I have had an issue with water here when it rains. So Pete's like, well, Monday, he says, or Monday morning I'll go down to the thing and pick up the saw. He says, and we'll start that. So I was like, okay. It works for me.
He actually paid you this time?
Yeah.
Didn't y'all catch you over the weekend
Nope.
and never show up?
Paid me right when I got out of the truck. Then he's getting a new garage door this week because the other one broke for the 3rd time. So he just said, fuck it, he's going to get a brand new one. So we got a new one. The guy said it'll be in it. He'll put it in about 2 weeks.
Nice.
So.
Do you remember the link that I gave you?
The what? The link? From.
To get onto the show?
I'm okay, I can remember my name. I probably got it in my.
Open up Facebook on my.
On the one I'm on now?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm logged in or just logged out.
Excuse me.
No excuse for you.
No, behave.
Just because next week we're gonna until people start actually just going.
Yeah, you're already logged. You're already here on Facebook.
Okay, so
Oh, wait a minute. What the hell happened?
You just signed him out.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
you just signed me up.
No.
He
Open up the chat with you.
Okay.
And scroll up until you find it and then click on it.
Come on.
You do know how to use a computer?
Yeah, but I don't have a mouse.
And he uses the.
I have the Lazy Man's one. Let's see. You mean the one right here with the 2 guys? Top Rope Report, Top Rope Wrestling Report.net.
No.
Oh, this one here, the Top Rope Report live stream.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll click on that. YouTube.com, right?
Yeah, it's YouTube.
I just go.
Oh.
Now, Chris, can we do that? Can we do that top rope report with the flames? Or you want to leave? Or you want to leave it like that?
Well, I can do it with the flames. I would just have to build them in.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I don't think people would want that on there.
Now, the Fogman filmed top rope report. Fogman didn't film that. Oh yeah, maybe he did. Now this one here was the one you were on that you showed me.
I can't see it.
She's like a 10-second delay. In recording?
Yeah. There is.
Ooh, you just woke up.
Either that or just came in
I
from
thought
a
I
wind. Either that or
deleted
when he
that.
came back from a windstorm.
Yeah.
No, I was working on it all day. I thought I deleted those though. That was when I was testing to see. That's one that I had up the other day.
Yeah.
Damn,
I
where's
left that
all
up
your
for
hair,
almost
Mike?
48 hours.
Yep.
Damn.
I had left that up for almost 48 hours. It probably played through like 3
Now, can we do this today?
We are.
Oh, we
It's
are.
live right now.
Well, I sure hope that you're going to show our face and not the back of our heads.
Well, I don't know. It might be a
Well,
bad
you got to
idea.
remember
shut
that's
up.
why I told you in the beginning. The camera's over there.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
have the other cameras yet.
So then we should face this way.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how am I going to know when our caller comes in?
Like I said, it's pretty much audio today.
Okay.
But give out the site name. Or the site URL.
Yep.
Several times.
All right, let me write it down. Top rope. The URL is what? A piece of paper, Chris?
I really need a piece of paper.
They can put that. They can catch us on what? YouTube.
It's up top. Just copy it.
All this?
Yeah.
Holy Christ! Got to be a shorter slash.
Why isn't it showing the whole top of the thing?
What's that?
I'm asking why it's not showing the whole top of the thing.
Channel slash
It says top rope report.
Sneak in there?
UC2 NKYZ
Sorry, I'm not trying to get on the show. Just trying to get by.
MTM WFM. God, by the time I get all these letters out, the show will be over. Got to be a shorter way to do this, Chris. Apostrophe S.
They could probably go to YouTube and type in Top Rope Report live.
VHA.
Or actually, let me see if you can do it.
VHLLA. Slash 5.
Top. Do I have?
What's the matter?
Hold on. Let me try it this way first.
They just typed in top rope report live.
Okay, top rope report live. Okay.
Yep.
That's what
Live
I pulled
here.
that
That's
up on
what
my
I'm
phone.
getting.
Type in top rope.
Best
Report.
wrestling talk show around. Nice. It actually comes up.
Okay, now see now the one
First thing that comes up.
is that one.
Yep.
See now the one thing that sucks.
But you have to type it. Top rope reports one word.
Yep.
Live is a separate word.
All right. Now the one thing that sucks
And it's right there.
is, can we do top rope wrestling report live? Because that's what the website is. Because there's another place that has top rope report.
That was that. That's for the website. Your show name is Top Rope Report.
Okay.
We want to
I
try
don't
to.
want to be stepping on people's toes.
We're trying to make everything Top Rope Report. I just don't have the money to pay the guys for the site.
How much
I've
is
been
that?
off. About 20 grand.
Oh, okay.
How much?
About 20 grand?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll.
I'm
we'll,
not paying
It's
that.
not that important.
We'll take it out of our
Yeah.
sock drawer next week. It's all about the Yankees for baseball and the Steelers for football.
No, it's
Well.
Patriots for football, Boston for baseball.
Yeah, we're on fire. We're 3-1.
Can you open that to full screen? I just want to make sure.
The one that I'm on?
Yeah.
Nope. Picked up. You gotta go into the box, into the actual video. You see down the right hand corner? Atta girl.
That's actually coming up right in full screen.
Okay.
I don't know why it wasn't coming up right in the little screen.
The only thing I'm not, or I'm trying to figure out is how am I going to see when somebody calls or when somebody's in the chat room?
You're gonna have to hear the ding
Oh,
and turn around.
Oh, there's going to be a ding?
Is there usually a ding?
No.
You just.
So you'll have to periodically turn around.
Okay.
I know
You
this
can
might be a
minimize
silly
that now.
question,
Yeah.
but can the laptop go here? Or does it have to stay back there because it's plugged into something?
When we actually start the recording next week,
Yep.
I'm gonna have it over on that couch because I'm gonna be transferring between cameras.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right now, like I said, it's preliminary, and yeah, I sort of don't want to move it.
Okay, no, just asking. That's what I said, hypothetical.
Hypothetically, I'm gonna end up moving those two monitors
Yep.
onto the floor back there.
Okay.
One of you is gonna sit there. One of you is gonna sit here.
Okay.
Both of these, this one and that one, are gonna be on.
Okay.
So whichever one you want to put the call-ins
The Talk Shoe logo and
Yeah.
the call-in chat board and everything? All right.
I mean, and this is the other thing I was talking to him about the other day. The $9.99, you can get a phone number or an 800 number,
Okay.
and it's only $9.99 a month, and I can have it go directly to this phone, which goes through my Magic Jack, which I can hook up to the computer and have it on the computer, which will make it easier to get on to here, because that's just another audio box that I put in to record from.
Okay.
And you'll be able to hear it no problem.
Okay. So we'll do this over there.
But yeah, I'm gonna end up setting one camera up there, one camera up here, one camera there facing down so it gets the both of you. I haven't decided where I'm gonna put the fourth one yet. I may put it over. Yeah, I may put it over here, coming this way.
Yeah.
But that way you'll each have your own camera, and then there'll be two for the both of you.
So it'll be one for Greg, one for me, and then there'll be two cameras for a double shot, one shot of the both of us. Okay. I went to American Steamed Cheeseburger yesterday to get lunch for John and I told him, I said, let's not, on Quinnipiac Street over by Grand Central. And I told him, I said, don't ever do that again.
Was it that bad?
$14 for two burgers.
That's cheap.
Well, those are real burgers. They're not
Mhm.
shitty ass fast food
Oh.
mealworm burgers.
But he's got a picture of square circle up there and the whole 9 yards. So I want to get a picture taken of the two of us and give it to him. We'll sign it and everything, and then take one of our T-shirts, because he's got a Tom's T-shirt up there, which is signed by the guys in the show. So I'll talk to him about getting one of our T-shirts and signing it for him so we can hang it up on the wall, because he's got our cards over there inside the store now.
What, the cheeseburger place?
Yeah.
We got what? 19 minutes?
Yeah, about 18, 19 minutes. Yeah, first order of business I'm going to talk about is WrestleMania. The road to
No.
Red. Huh?
I disagree.
What?
There's something more important that happened.
What's that?
Well, the passing of Black Jack Mullen.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
Do that
forgot about
first,
that.
you know.
Yeah, we'll have a
Pay
moment.
respects
We'll
first.
have a moment of silence for him, and then we'll go into WrestleMania. How I thought it wasn't as bad. I thought the show wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Right.
A lot of people I talked to said it was the worst WrestleMania they ever saw.
A lot of people are.
Yeah. It's like, dude, were we watching the same show?
I don't know. The parts that I've seen on Facebook,
Yeah.
they look really good.
Then I'm going to ask you, Greg, what did you think was an outstanding? What was your opinion of what you thought was an outstanding match for WrestleMania? We'll go into that, and what did you think of the Divas match? We'll go over some. What did you think of this match, so forth and so on. And then by the time we finish talking about what else has been going on, Gino should call.
Well, he's not calling till 1 now. You said.
Yeah, but I'm saying by the time we get into the stuff that we're going to be talking about, and
What time is Michelle calling?
she'll probably call a little bit. Well, I'll probably have Gino on the phone for about 10, 15 minutes.
Did somebody ask?
Oh, I don't know.
She'll probably.
She'll probably call around 1:15, 1:25,
So we're gonna be on for an hour and 40 minutes. 2 hours.
somewhere in that way, somewhere in that area.
We never did that. We usually do an hour-long show. So.
Well, the most we, a lot of times when these people, when I have them call,
That's the thing is this is one thing I just want to make. This is our show.
yeah,
We don't partly our show for their convenience. If they want to be on our show, they need to accommodate us. We tell that you should just tell them straight up. Okay, you want to call, it's fine. I can book 12:15 to 12:30. Normally we do about an hour worth of show. We talk, we do what we got to do. So you know what I mean.
yeah.
It's nice to have people on the show.
I mean, the thing that gets me is if they want to change the time, they notify me like a half hour before we're going to go on there.
Right. Then you say, well, then we'll have to do it another week.
As a matter of fact, I might even tell Michelle we might have to do ours next week. Because she's in school. She said that she's doing classes now.
Okay.
And I wanted to find out when her title match is because I wanted to talk to her before she went for the championship.
Right.
Let's see.
But we have the show that they want to be on. Then we should be telling them when we could put them on the show and make it convenient. What to us, not to them.
Yeah, because she said to me, she goes, hey there, when's your show? Feel like having me on as a guest? I'm going for the Women's Championship on April 16th. And
That's great. Also, she's going next Saturday.
Yeah, and the
She's fighting for a title. Well, great. Well, okay, we're on from 12. We're on typically from 12 to 1. We can have you call in at 12:50. We'll have you call in 12:45. We give you 10 minutes.
Yeah, she goes, I have wrestling class till 1. Can we do it around then, or is that too late? See, you were off on Tuesday, right?
Not anymore. Back in the regular schedule. I'm off Wednesdays.
Okay, because I could talk to her and say, you and I can do something with her on Wednesday. Have her call the show, and we can do it from my computer on Wednesday and talk to her about it then, because that's before her title match. So this way we can do it then. Hold on. Can you call us on
And that's the other good thing about this.
Wednesday?
Recording it automatically gets uploaded to YouTube.
Is it recording now? So it's recording all this.
It's a live stream. It records everything.
So I could literally sit at home and go on Top Report and it'll record me. If I go to Top Report Live, or is there something you're doing now that's setting it up?
You would have to download OBS, which is this program here.
Okay.
So there's going to be a dual screen right there for us?
This is the live one.
Yep.
This is anything that I'm making changes to.
Okay.
Before it goes live.
All right. Cool. Works for me. Now we need to get stuff to put on that website. I sent you a couple more pictures, I think. We'll get a couple of pictures of us today.
You keep sending them to my Facebook. Send them.
But your phone's not working.
Yeah, it got turned off this morning.
All right then.
Send them to my email.
I don't have your email.
Casey
I'm lucky I can remember my
at
email.
gmail.com.
KCComputers2000
At gmail.com.
at gmail.com. All right.
Not hard to remember.
I'm lucky I can remember my email half the time.
I would have you send it to my other email, but
That's the nudie site, right?
nah. I can only get it through my phone.
Jesus, can you believe they're coming out with a PlayStation 5?
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
Uh,
It's got live streaming TV. But yeah, for some reason this one's different.
oh, Pete changed cable carriers in Wallingford. He went from Comcast. Boy, he's singing the praises of
Xfinity.
the one you just got rid of.
Frontier?
Yeah, boy, he's singing their praises like you wouldn't believe.
Wait till there's a problem.
He's singing like an autistic choir boy at the American Idol. Man. I told him, I said, a friend of mine has some serious problems
Wait
with
till
them.
there's a problem. Because they're fucking stupid and can't figure out how to get out of a cardboard box.
With it open.
7 text.
Wow.
The last 2 are the only ones that had anything.
See, when I was growing up.
And nothing ever happens when they're normally there. You know, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Yeah, it always happens on the
It always
weekend when they're not there,
happens,
yeah.
Exactly, when they have their idiots that are going to, hold on, well, have we trying to brief hold? Now, obviously, they're looking something up. Okay, well, this is what, and then you can tell that they've got it exactly read. And they're just reading off from a piece of paper or a computer screen or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one thing about this being a business, though. I have
Yeah,
24/7
yeah.
live
Priority.
tech support. I get priority. I call them up. They're here within 2 hours. Most of the time. Just like the last one that came that actually fixed the problem. Found it.
Now,
And
Chris,
nothing
how
to do with
long,
this building.
excuse me, how long after we finish this today will it be on YouTube?
Instantly, it's on there right now.
Right now, it's recording everything we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Audio,
Live
it's
right
audio
now.
and everything
But
right
when when we start playing it, we're not going to see this what we're doing, right?
now. Oh, yeah. It's there.
What's right there is what people can see right now.
Uh-oh.
I'm saying.
I don't
Now,
know.
when your laptop is off, and obviously there's obviously no live stream, and you go on it, is there anything that says, or anything on there that would say, you know,
It would be just a black screen. Or I could do what I did the other day and just set it up to play everything over and over and over and over and over.
well, I'm just thinking if, you know, there was something on it that said, sorry, you missed this catches Sunday at, boom.
Yeah, that's one thing too. We can also put down.
And by the way, we don't have to do our show at noon anymore because Joey's not here. The only reason we changed noons because I had to pick him up from work.
Okay, so if you want to change it, what time do you think we should change it to?
I'm just saying,
Right.
I'm not locked in. The only thing that I have to do on Sundays is I have to be able to bring Jess to work for 10, and I have to be able to pick her up at 9, between 9 and 10:30, depending.
Maybe we can go back to 2 p.m.
I'm just saying,
All right.
When did you get more listeners?
Since Greg came on the show, they only
Oh, was
listen.
it at,
They only listen to the show for Greg. They don't give a rat's ass about me.
Yeah, right.
was it, did you get more listeners at noon or more listeners at 2 when you did it?
I don't know. Probably about the same. No, I don't know. Probably.
I mean, I don't know how many people actually listen to us live.
Right.
I don't know.
That's another good thing with this.
Well, you see
You'll
the
be able
card.
to see how
Yeah.
many people.
Well, you see the
You're
cards.
live.
The cards we have made up say 2 p.m.
If I could find it.
This is gonna be so cool. I'm loving it.
Oh, we only got 8 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
got going on over here?
Nothing. Oh, gee, what an ugly mug that is. And what's this on? You said a 10-second delay?
A few
It
second
seemed
delay.
Like I counted and it seemed like it was
I think it's a
10 seconds.
5 second.
5-second delay?
Yeah.
And you can see how many people are listening to us?
Live dashboard.
Watch, I'm gonna call Kelleher right now and tell him go to YouTube.
I'm already live. You still have me logged in, don't you? Oh, you have me under me. You need to be under top rope report. There we go. And it has a chat on it.
Tim Dog, do me a favor. Get on the computer at the store and type in YouTube, or go on YouTube.
Just have him search in Bing or Google Top Rope Report, one word, then space live.
Alright. Alright. Alright, you there? Alright. Go to the search bar up top and type in Top Rope Report, all one word, space live, L-I-V-E. Okay. What's that? Top Rope Report, all one word. Space live, L-I-V-E. Yeah, just do the space bar, and then type in the word live. What's that?
Yep.
Yeah, and hit enter. We're gonna be live on YouTube. Yep.
No,
not .com. Top Rope Report, all one word, space live, L-I-V-E, and then hit enter.
On YouTube?
No,
Yeah.
just
Yes.
on YouTube. And let me know if you see us.
Yep, I do.
Hi Tim, I'm waving, right?
Yeah, but you're waving at a wall, not at where the camera is.
Hi Tim, can you see me?
I see a Boston hat.
Yeah, that's
That's
Chris.
Chris.
That's Chris. Yeah, we're gonna be doing the show live right there in about 5 minutes.
Oh, I don't have that.
I see a Boston hat. Some guy's behind you.
Yeah, the guy in the Boston hat is Chris. The other guy waving in the Yank Me shirt is Greg.
Okay.
All right, so that's where we're gonna be. So listen to the show.
Of course I'm going to. That's you with the mic in your hand?
Yeah, well, it's my phone.
Oh, okay. It looks like a microphone.
No, it's my phone. All right, Tim.
Microphones won't be here till next week.
Microphones will
Same
be
with
here
the rest
next
of the
week.
cameras.
Okay, brother. Where are you stationed at?
We're in Meriden.
Now I see your face.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, brother.
All right, bye. Yeah, I think you said one too many already. All right, let's see.
Now, when you were fooling around, it was still recording. So could he pull up our TalkShoe.com
He
thing?
has it underneath there. He can shut it off on there now.
I can shut this off?
What it was.
Yeah, but I gotta take a look at that for the caller.
No. You listen, you don't.
All right.
Oh my God.
You can close the screen with us on it.
Okay.
Well, no, what I'm saying is on this computer, it'll still be recording. Can you go to TalkShoe on this so he sees the chat board on that
Oh, yeah.
computer?
You can. I didn't even think about that.
What was that?
You can go right on to TalkShoe on there. Here, open up the internet on the left-hand side. Preferably Google.
Right.
Left-hand side.
Right here.
No,
No,
left-hand side. See the thing, the sidebar on the left? Yeah.
Okay.
Go
Which?
to Google. The little
Right
circle.
there.
Yep. Add a girl.
Click on either one.
Okay. Either one. This one. Okay. Oh.
Gotta actually click on it.
Click in the box. Okay. And then from there, go to TalkShoe.
It's on that page, I can't see it.
I don't know what.
Is that eBay?
Yeah,
Is that
Tim.
good?
Yeah.
What is?
Mom, I said I heard that. That wasn't nice.
All right. Well, I got to do something right now, Tim. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye. All right, well, we got 2 minutes. What did you say now?
Up top.
Right here?
Yep.
Talkshoe.com.
Yeah, don't forget, everybody can hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Now we don't want to be too close to the actual screen, do we?
Right now, like I said, because there's no way it's going to capture everything that we need until I get the cameras. Okay.
Okay. T-minus 2 minutes.
Trust you.
So, right now, even though we can't see us, they can. Okay, cool. All right, good. You got room there, Greg?
Yeah, I'll get in a second.
Okay. Chris, if I should happen to have a day off this week, or if you decide that you want to come up to the room to to look at my computer, feel free to. Because like I said, ever since I downloaded Windows 10, that thing's been crap.
Well, worst comes to worst, bring it next week.
All right.
Because I gotta see what's going on. And as you see, none of these have any problems right now.
All right, here we go. Making the call.
Welcome to TalkShoe. Please. You are now joining the call. You are unmuted.
Recorded live.
Good afternoon, everyone. You are listening to 1640 PWPR Pro Wrestling Podcast Radio and the Top Rope Report. I'm your host, the illustrious Mr. Trivia. Alongside me, once again, my co-host, my best bud, my tag team partner, the Nugster Greg. Greg, this is a big day for us here today. We are now live on YouTube.
Yes, yeah, we're streaming live 24/7.
Yep.
We're not going to be on 24/7. This isn't our own little reality TV show, but you know, you can access this all the time.
Right. For the fans out there that want to check us out, you can go to Top Rope Report, all one word, space live. And that'll take you right to the show that we're doing right now on YouTube. But before we get started today, Greg, some sadness in the
Yes.
WWE this week, and
Yep.
we'd like to take a little brief moment of silence here for the passing of WWE Hall of Famer Blackjack Mulligan. Thank you. For you people who don't know Blackjack Mulligan, he is the father of Barry Windham, the grandfather of the Wyatts,
Yep.
Bray and Bo Dallas, and you know, is one of the world famous tag teams champions in the WWE, the Blackjacks, along with Blackjack Lanza, and he definitely will be missed. But now we're off the road. We're off the road to WrestleMania. I thought it was a better show than than it was gonna be. I mean, you know, a lot of people I talked to were like, well, you know, the show sucked and this, that, and the other thing, and
And
Well-
those are the people, in my opinion, that don't take. You got to take into consideration the product that they had to present to us. No Cena, no Daniel Bryan, no Seth Rollins, no Randy Orton. Cesaro wasn't there, although he did show up the next night on Raw. You know, they had a lot of star power that was not available to them.
right,
So you got to take that into consideration. But we discussed it several weeks ago. We went through and you said, "Oh, my expectations is a C minus." What would your grade be? Now.
oh, I gave
on
it a
the
solid
actual-
B. It definitely exceeded my
Now,
expectations.
if you take out the crap show, I mean the pre-show matches, it definitely made it a more solid of a show.
Oh yeah,
If
definitely.
you bring those three in, then maybe I'll accept somebody saying that it was not good, but you take out those three pre-show matches because who really pays much attention to those anyways?
Right.
I thought it was as what they were able to put out, I thought it was excellent.
Right. I mean the world title match was kind of what we expected.
Yeah.
The Divas match. I mean, I like the new title belt now. That
Yes. Yeah.
that's really really sharp. But I saw today on one of the dirt sheets that Bret Hart was saying, you know, what was the purpose of that Intercontinental title match? He said that was so stupid. But kudos to Zack Ryder. I mean, there's a guy that's been in the WWE, been in wrestling for a long time, you know, and finally gets a chance to grab the brass ring and win the title. Sure, he lost it the next night because your girl's back,
Mhm.
Maurice, and you did make the prediction that Miz was going to win the Intercontinental title, but it was a day late.
Well, my
But-
prediction came a day too early.
Right. But what, in your opinion, what match do you think stuck out in your mind for WrestleMania?
Hands down, the Divas Triple Threat match. That was the only match on the card that I would have given a solid A to. The way those three ladies interacted in the ring and the outcome as we were going through it, as we were watching it, due to unforeseen circumstances, I wasn't able to watch it in the same place as Tony Black and Mr. Trivia actually watched it at. Had a little work emergency pop up, but as it's going through, I was talking to my son, and I'm like, I'm kicking myself in the ass right now because the whole thing that led up to the new belt and everything you're talking about, the history of it, and this and that and that. I was basically saying, I said to him, you know what, as you're describing it right now, there is no way they're going to take this belt off of Charlotte.
Right.
She's a Flair. She's Ric Flair's daughter. And there was no way that, they were going to let, Sasha or Becky have the first, reign with the new women's championship
Right.
title.
I
So,
agree. Exactly.
but the match that all three of them put over, I could have done without Sasha Banks, entrance. I thought whoever that lady was more off key than a piano with no chords in it. She was horrible. But that match itself, to me, action wise and everything, was, the one strong, solid A match on that belt.
Right. We also have our chat board up and running, so anybody has any questions, and you don't feel like talking on the phone, send us a question on our chat board. Also, you can reach us at 724-444-7444. Our show ID number is 136391. You're out there and you want to give us a call and talk wrestling, we're going to be here for a little while. 1 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to have a phone call from a former WWE, ECW, WCW wrestler, and wrestler from ECPW, Mr. Gino Caruso, will be joining us today on the Top Rope Report. So we're going to get a chance to talk with him and talk about his long, illustrious career. But May 1st, Payback. Now we've got a new number one contender, AJ Styles.
Mhm.
I thought that was a pretty decent match. They had the Fatal 4-Way. Nice to see Cesaro back.
Yes.
And your take on AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns?
Not really sure yet.
Is it too early for AJ Styles, or?
I mean, probably more, better options in the pecking order. I mean, you could have taken, you know, Kevin Owens, but they're going to start a feud with Sami Zayn, so that took him out of the picture. Maybe a returning Cesaro instead. I mean, I did read that, before WrestleMania, I read that after WrestleMania, there was some expectation that Brock Lesnar would be reinserted into the title picture again. Maybe Dean Ambrose would have been, but, it is what it is with AJ Styles.
I mean, I actually thought it was a really decent match. I mean, Styles got to use the Styles Clash on Chris Jericho. For some reason, though, when he first came in, they didn't want him using that move.
Well, that's what everybody was saying. He's not using it because it's banned by the WWE. There's nothing about that move that would cause you to have to ban it.
I know.
Really. I mean, so I don't know why there was speculation that the move is banned.
And last Monday night, on Raw, Shane got a chance to show Vince what he could do. But the thing that I really didn't care too much for was you didn't see Shane that much. You know, when Triple H and Stephanie came out, you might have seen him twice or maybe 3 times in the back,
Maybe.
talking on the phone or talking with the wrestlers. We only saw Shane, once? Maybe?
Yeah. Yep.
And that was when Roman Reigns came out. And I guess they're still talking about splitting up the brands.
Supposedly. I mean, they have a influx of some new talent, and they might bring more talent up from NXT to help expand the roster.
Yep, and you got, NXT that you mentioned that. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but that was a great show.
No, I didn't see it.
It was phenomenal.
Going back on the network to catch it.
I mean, Sami Zayn versus Nakamura, that just blew the doors off of everything. And then that Asuka or whatever her name is, the one that beat Bayley, that was an amazing match as well. And NXT is really starting to, blossom, and they're taking a lot of people from NXT, bringing them up to the main roster. And I've only heard of 2 matches so far for Payback. One was Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles, and the other one is the Dudley Boys against Enzo and Kaz. I was actually like, here comes Enzo and Kaz on Monday Night Raw. And those guys were actually pretty hilarious. And I mean,
haven't seen them wrestle much. Seen a couple, snippets of their matches on, YouTube. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely, they were the top tag team. I know we commented on the show that they did at Madison Square Garden where they lost the title match, and I said, well, it made sense because they're probably the next ones to come up to the main roster.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. And then also on SmackDown, the Vaudevillians made their debut.
Yeah, I'm not too wild about those guys.
But to me, it looks like, okay, just around the same time that everybody was getting hurt, I think it was Jey Uso, or I think it was Jey that was hurt. I don't remember which one of the Usos exactly. Jey was hurt. Then Tyson Kidd went down, Cesaro was injured, and, Los Matadores had kind of disappeared, and we were talking about how great things were looking for their tag team division. They were looking up. And due to some injuries, they kind of went back on the back burner. Now, I think with, Cesaro coming back, not that they're going to put him in a tag team, but they're, obviously, you saw the commercial, the little preview, they've rebranded the Los Matadores, the 2 guys from Puerto Rico. You got your Lucha Dragons back together because Sin Cara's not injured. You bring up Enzo and Cass, the Vaudevillians, obviously still the New Day. Dudley Boys are still, in play, the Usos. So you got that new influx of excitement in the tag team division again.
Right. And that's, that's something that a good friend of the Top Rope Report, rest his soul, was talking about Ox Baker when he was alive, that, the WWE needed to get more tag teams in the mix, and it seems like that they're starting to do that now, and I think it's going to make the tag team a little bit more exciting. Your take on Brie Bella's retirement?
It's not a retirement.
Okay.
Absolutely not. She's fully said that, it was an interview at WWE.com that she did. This is her last match for a while. She does realize that you only have a small window to be able to have children in a lifetime. She probably doesn't want to be 40, 45 having her first child. She wouldn't be the first person to have a child and get back actively into the wrestling scene.
Right.
She had said that this is definitely, her last match, and she said for a while. She didn't say she's done with wrestling forever. She actually had a little thing where she said she would like to come back maybe in a stable of other former, wrestlers that are now moms, i.e. Trish Stratus, Beth Phoenix, Mickey James, and herself, and have some, a little mom faction type thing
Right.
going on. Whether that would really happen, because she's not in, no offense against Brie, but she's not in the same wrestling class as those three ladies.
Yep.
So that might be a little bit of a pipe dream, but she was thinking about SummerSlam originally, kind of making her swan song, but then when Daniel had to retire, she did say that WrestleMania just felt like a more better timing, as far as stepping away to start a family, rather than waiting. She wants to start a family. Would like to start a family now.
Right, and that would be interesting to see how, if she's gonna fully retire and become a full-time mom. That's something only time will tell. We just got the news a couple days ago, which was broken by this man here, the co-host, that it's only 50 weeks away, but the Top Rope Report will be attending WrestleMania 33 next year in sunny Orlando, Florida. So we're definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully by April of 2017, will be the biggest thing since Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, it was a no-brainer to me, with all the speculation of next year, with John Cena, Undertaker, because I think that's what they really wanted this year. And hey, I'm reading these things about, the Undertaker, he's done, he's not wrestling anymore. They've taken him off a couple live events, and, this is the Undertaker. This is what he does after WrestleMania every year.
Yep.
Why people are thinking this year is different from the multiple WrestleManias of the past is beyond me.
Right.
And it would make sense. There's no way he's gonna want his last match in the WWE to be a Hell in a Cell match against Shane McMahon.
Right. That's like having the last match against one of us.
He'll be maybe a little better than one of us, because we would defeat him, and then we tarnish his reputation.
Exactly.
But I see, so I'm like, okay, I have family down in Florida that if I needed to extend my stay for any reason, I could do that. So I, went online, found a good, excellent hotel deal about 2 miles away from the Citrus Bowl, and I've always had that on my bucket list to see a WrestleMania.
Right.
And I saw the opportunity and jumped on it.
We're definitely, I know me, 50 weeks away, and I'm definitely looking forward to it right now. I'm ready to go now. It's first time Mr. Trivia is going to be on an airplane, so I'll definitely be checking people's shoes for fuses. But it's definitely something that's a nice place. It's in Florida.
Yep.
And it's definitely something that we'll be looking forward to come April 2nd of 2017.
But enough about next year's WrestleMania. Let's get back to talking a little bit. We spent 3 minutes talking about it now.
But did you see the Hall of Fame?
No, I didn't.
Well, the 2 highlights of the Hall of Fame.
When it started and when it ended?
I really didn't think it was that good of a class.
Right. Well, we had talked about that before, that it really wasn't.
Right, but the 2 highlights of the Hall of Fame were the Freebirds and Sting. I personally, myself, I could have done without. And, this is where we're going to banter back and forth again, because we're good at that. We always do that.
Mm-hmm.
I could have done without the New Day inducting the Freebirds. But when I looked at it, it was best for it.
That's what I was going to say, because first thought in my mind was when you said you thought it was a bad idea, you then told me that you didn't know there was anybody in the audience until the New Day came out.
Right. And they whipped up the crowd. The crowd was just so dead. And the Freebirds came out. Jimmy Jam Garvin, Michael P.S.A.'s. Michael Hayes sang his Freebirds, his Bad Street song. And, that was awesome. And then Sting. Like Sting said, the one thing with Sting is nothing's for sure. He did officially announce his retirement.
Right.
But at the end, he said, it's not goodbye, it's see you later. Will we see Sting again?
Well, we might see him again, but I really don't think it's going to be in a full-time wrestling capacity. I mean, maybe it's that
Excuse me.
occasional show up thing, and Edge's done for several years. Not even to the extent of The Rock, but maybe he shows up, at SummerSlam, and whatever.
Right.
But I don't think we're gonna ever see him as a full-time wrestler again.
Exactly. Top Rope Report here on 1640 PWPR Pro Wrestling Podcast Radio, TalkShoe.com, and now live on YouTube.
Live.
Give us a call at 724-444-7444.
I think when you say like the YouTuber, you got to use like that game show host commercial voice.
We're now on YouTube. Yeah, live. Yeah, so that's
And as you can tell, we're definitely we don't have a script. We're off the hip with everything we talk about. And I think that's one of the things that makes our show, different from others.
Right, but also kudos definitely has to go for this here. Definitely has to go to our sponsor, Chris Crandall from KC Computers.
Absolutely.
I mean, him and Johnny K. Johnny K has done a lot for us at M&J Video Games, Collectibles, and First Base Sports Cards.
You sure that's what it is?
Yeah.
It was M&J Video Cards and
No,
collectible bases of sports, as Tony Atlas would say.
Nope, it's M&J Video Games, Collectibles, and First Base Sports. That's on 38 Center Street in Wallingford. Johnny's been very instrumental. Even before Chris came aboard, our show was here. And with Chris and Johnny working together, now we're up here. Chris has done a tremendous amount of work. We got our website he's working on still. We're going to be putting PSAs in. There's going to be a 30-second commercial from M&J. There's going to be a 30-second commercial from KC Computers. And, the sky's the limit right now. And couldn't thank the sponsors enough. So anytime you get a chance for all your computer needs, call KC Computers. And it's just something that I never thought in my wildest dreams would take off like it is.
Yeah, it's very, it's awesome. It's awesome.
But getting back to the WrestleMania aspect again, do you think, me personally, I thought the pre-show was way too long.
Well,
granted, it was the biggest event of the year.
Right.
But I just thought it was way too long.
Yeah. It's 2 hours. But the thing that made the pre-show seem even longer was the fact that they didn't end their pay-per-view at 11 o'clock or 10 of 11 like they normally do.
Right.
It went to, almost midnight.
Yep.
So if you started watching it at 5 p.m., that was 7 hours of wrestling. And I think that also took a little bit out of the luster of the Triple H Roman Reigns match, because by the time you got to that, you had been watching wrestling for 6.5 hours.
Right.
I understand they want to be out there and they want to try and do all they can, but I think if you're going to add that extra hour at the end, you needed to make the pre-show just 1 hour.
And what was your take on that Triple H Roman Reigns match? If you had to give it a grade or a score rather, from 1 to 10, what would you have given it?
Now, if you're taking in the consideration of the outcome of the match, I would give it a D, because I'm just not a Roman Reigns fan. But taking that out of consideration, I give the match a B. It was pretty much a little bit above expectations. I loved, maybe, which brought up a little bit more of a B, from a B minus to a B. I thought Stephanie McMahon looked amazing.
Oh my gosh, she was fabulous.
So that kind of gave you the little eye candy look, but a solid B.
And right now, I don't think there's a better entrance in wrestling right now at pay-per-views like WrestleMania than Triple H. He had an awesome one last year.
Yep.
The one he had this year with all the guys in the belts and
many of those guys were members of NXT.
Yep. And it was tremendous. We knew, being the wrestling aficionados that we are, and anybody out there who's been living under a rock for the last 8 years, we all knew Roman Reigns was walking out as the champion.
Right. And there was actually, speculation many weeks ago, which I reported on my Nuggets News, that WWE may have been hesitant in making that the last match, for fear that Roman Reigns was going to get booed out of the stadium to end WrestleMania. But when you take into consideration that the entrances that Triple H does for WrestleMania specifically, there was no way you couldn't have put that match.
Right.
It
I
just,
mean,
you couldn't have.
The Shane McMahon Undertaker match, did it have the luster I was hoping it would have? No, not really. I think the best part about it was when Shane jumped off the top of the cage.
Did you see what Superstar Billy Graham said about that match?
Yes.
Yeah, former WWE star coming out and saying, that he literally thought that Shane McMahon was an absolute jackass for doing that. Saying, you're somebody doing something, jumping off of a cage when you've got a wife and kids at home and even in attendance,
Right.
where you're trying to move that could paralyze you. And he really, really not, and surprisingly to me, because many others gave him, credit and, applauded him for being brave enough to try something like that. But then you get, Superstar Billy Graham coming out and saying that. So we probably won't see, Billy Graham and Eddie McMahon Thanksgiving dinners anytime soon.
The thing I was gonna ask you about was, do you think?
I don't really have much.
Okay. Do you think? I knew common sense right there. I told Tony Black. Common sense was gonna tell you the Undertaker was gonna move.
Right. I also think when they first did that, I'm thinking that they were both going to go up to the top of the cage. And one of them, more than likely, Shane, was going to come through into the mat, which would have definitely been a little bit easier and more friendly-wise on the body, but...
Kind of like Mankind Undertaker that time when the Undertaker got thrown off the top.
You had to do the Undertaker was
yeah.
going to move because, him landing on a table is taking a chance at hurting himself, but those tables are designed to collapse when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's kind of like, okay, boom, and then boom, so it kind of like cushions your fall. But, Shane McMahon's got to be, 180, 200 pounds, somewhere in that vicinity, maybe a little bit more than that.
Well, he's a little bit more than that, yeah.
Him coming off of that 30 feet down and landing on The Undertaker, you're then talking possibly if he lands wrong, which, how can you really control when you're jumping up from so high? You really can't control where you're going to land.
Right.
Crushing ribs, puncturing lungs. Serious damage. So you knew that there was no way The Undertaker wasn't going to move.
Now, each year, for the fans out there who faithfully watch our show, and you should be faithfully watching it, every year we like to do different awards, end-of-the-year awards.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'd have to say that that's one of the holy shit moments with Shane McMahon jumping off the top of the cage.
Well, right now, if you had 5 of them, I'd say the 2 biggest holy shit moments of the year are him returning on that Monday Night Raw and then him jumping off
exactly
on that WrestleMania. But you asked me what I thought was the best match on the card. What were your thoughts on the best match on the card?
Well, I thought the best match on the card, I would probably have to agree with you and say the Divas as well. But I thought Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar could have been a little bit more roughshod, so to speak. It was a no disqualification street fight.
And the only weapons that I remember were what? Chairs and kendo sticks.
Yeah.
They didn't...
he did bring out the bat, but didn't use it.
Right.
And it's just, it could have been a little bit more violent.
Pretty much stayed in and around the ring. They didn't go off into the backstage area and slam anybody's head into a speaker or into the audience. So yeah, It did kind of, but.
But I'd have to say, the last couple pay-per-views that we've seen, the Divas matches were the bathroom matches, and we kind of agreed that was, probably the top match of the pay-per-view.
Well, you've always said that the Divas match was
and I also want to put out to the fans out there that Mr. Trivia actually stayed awake for an entire pay-per-view, which was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Mr. Trivia actually won our prediction battle, as he did predict 5 of the matches right, where I only got 4. The little nugster had 2, and poor Tony Black.
Yeah.
We're going to have to reassess having him
I think he had a goose egg, didn't he?
He didn't get one goddamn thing right.
I could have sworn he picked Kalisto over Ryback.
Nope. He went with Ryback.
Which is my next question to you, that match. How did you like that?
Waste of time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
To be honest with you, I was surprised Kalisto won.
oh yeah, very surprised. You're built, but you picked Kalisto, didn't you?
Yeah, I picked Kalisto, but I was still
that was
surprised
the
he
one
won.
between you and me. But it's just, and it's Ryback is kind of falling into that same thing to me personally with Bray Wyatt. Is to okay, you're trying to build these guys, and then then you don't have them follow through.
Right.
You know, it makes no sense to keep the belt on Kalisto. Why? Why are you keeping that belt on? You want a belt on Kalisto? Have him and Sin Cara go after the New Day. You know, where they're exciting in the ring together. Just, I don't understand.
Now, looking in the studio here where we're broadcasting from today, I don't know if you got a message or anything, but, I mean, did somebody forget to pay the electric bill? To me, I don't know. It seems like it's awful dark in here to you, don't you think? Maybe it's, my reading glasses.
Probably because you have sunglasses on.
No, the reading glasses.
Oh,
But
okay.
Another thing that I want to talk about now is the WWE turning the Wyatt's face. I mean, are the Wyatts going to be in this big, huge war with the League of Nations now? Now that Wade Barrett's ousted.
Right. I don't know.
Did that surprise you?
Yeah, that did surprise me. But what did you think of Bray Wyatt's in the Wyatt family's interaction in WrestleMania with The Rock?
I thought it was stupid.
Okay.
I mean, we talked beforehand about how The Rock wasn't supposed to be in a physical match. You know, it wasn't supposed to get physical because of the movie contracts he had and everything else.
Which it looked like he got physical to me. Not that he was in a match, but, you know.
I mean, it was
beat down from the Wyatts, which was, evaded by John Cena coming down.
Yep.
Now, I had gone on record at WrestleMania saying that I thought John Cena was going to make a surprise appearance in the Battle Royal.
Right.
So, once again, right church, wrong pew. What did you think about John Cena's return?
Well, it could have been a little bit more dramatic than what it was. I mean, he really didn't do anything. He didn't, really get involved physically, in the match. It was nice to see him. A lot of fans, they kind of mixed emotions, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And, we all know he is one of the fastest healers in wrestling.
Right. But I kind of noticed he had a smile as he was leaving, but he wasn't his boisterous, hands up in the air like this afterwards. It almost looked like to me and I think proof is in the pudding because he wasn't at WrestleMania. He wasn't at Raw the next night. It's obvious to me that he's not back. I know he's doing a bunch of promotional stuff for this True Grit show that he had taken a little time off before to film on Fox. So he's been on the Today Show doing Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. He's making the press rounds, but there was just this look on his face to me that his smile wasn't as big as it used to be, and almost looked like a little smile of disappointment. I'm just wondering if maybe, not that he re-hurt himself or hurt himself worse, but to me it just seemed like he had that, I just didn't like the way that felt.
Right.
It didn't feel, as good as I wanted.
It didn't feel like a John Cena moment.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking more physically. Not a John Cena moment, but more physically. Like, I've had an injury that I've been dealing with since, July 2nd of last year. And there were days when, I thought I was healed, but then I was, I really shouldn't be in that shoe yet because I'm not really there yet. Kind of that same thing.
Yep. Were you surprised at Baron Corbin winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
Yes and no. I never had a thought of him winning previous to that because I didn't know he was going to be in it. But once they had the whole everybody in there and then the Shaquille O'Neal, oh my God!
I was just going to see
coming down and having the confrontation with the Big Show and then the two of them getting eliminated. At that point, it was like, all right, who else in this match can win to help elevate themselves. And then to me, it was like, okay,
Right.
it's gonna be him.
And I was just going to bring that up. Next year at WrestleMania 33, they want to put Shaquille O'Neal against the Big
Well,
Show.
That's once again, people. These are rumors. I hope. I mean, it's almost like after WrestleMania last year, it's gonna be Sting Undertaker.
Yep.
If I really hope it doesn't happen. And if it does happen, it better be the pre-show that they show before everybody gets into the stadium, because I won't waste my time.
Right. Also, the WWE is having 2 pay-per-views next month.
Yep.
Payback on the 1st, and then there's another one on the 22nd. I didn't catch the pay-per-view that one is going to be. I don't think it's going to be King of the Ring or Money in the Bank, but there will be 2 pay-per-views, one on May 1st, one on May 22nd. Do you think the WWE is having too many pay-per-views? Maybe scale it back a bit.
Well, we talked about this last year because, when old school, when it was one a month, or even really old school, when it was really just like every
The big
3,
4.
Yeah, it was just 4. I mean, one a month seems to be a good thing to do. I mean, obviously most of the time they skip all of March, so you kind of put a 12th one in there somewhere, and you do have your 5-week months. That way you can sneak an extra one in sometimes, but 14 to 15 pay-per-views when you don't have one in March, so it's really 15 shows in 11 months.
Right.
Can be a little overwhelming. Now, with that being said, if they do the brand split where they have a Raw pay-per-view or a SmackDown pay-per-view, then that changes the whole thing. Then you're going to want more pay-per-view.
Right.
You're going to want 2 a month so you can see all your wrestlers.
Yep. And you are listening to and watching 1640 PWPR Pro Wrestling Podcast Radio, the Top Rope Report. We are now live on YouTube. To see us live on YouTube, you can go to your search bar up top, type in Top Rope Report, all one word, space live. It will take you right here to us, Mr. Trivia, and my tag team partner, the Nugster Greg. Also, within another 2 weeks, I believe it's 2 weeks from today or 2.5 weeks from today, a member of the 1640 PWPR family is getting married. And we're going to be sending out congratulations once a week, possibly to Diamond Dave Rosenbluth,
Oh, okay.
the co-host of the Ken Reedy Show.
Yep.
He will be getting married on April the 30th, and we're going to be wishing him the best of luck, him and his lovely bride, Nicole.
My condolences.
They are two of the best people. Now, they're 2 great people. I mean, I talked to them on their show quite a bit. Ken and Dave have kind of like been an inspiration to me here at the Top Rope Report. I try to, they always say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Right.
I try to emulate some of my show into theirs, but I also like to have our own brand as well. And, I just want to say congratulations to Dave and his lovely soon-to-be bride, Nicole. And you can catch the Ken Reedy Show on Blog Talk Radio every Monday night at 6:30. He will be back on this week because he did call us from WrestleMania last week.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And hopefully that'll be one thing I'll be looking forward to next year is a tailgate party. And
but I don't know if we have enough clout to be at Ric Flair's tailgate
Well,
party as Ken Reedy did.
you might not, Ric Flair might not have enough clout to be at our tailgate party next year. So we'll have to definitely look into that and see what's. I'm gonna be like.
All I'm gonna say is, and Johnny, I love you, but if Johnny K has anything to do with helping us stay organized, just please tell me he's not gonna send Tony Atlas.
No, if he does, you better start laughing.
I love Tony too.
Yeah.
It's all in jest and all is a
Yeah,
joke.
Tony was just at M&J Video Games in First Base Sports last week, and he had an autograph signing. It was always good to see Tony.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, trying to get on the subject of TNA and everything, I mean, I really haven't watched it that much.
Nah, I
really don't know what's going on.
I
Really
watched,
don't.
I switched cable carriers, which allowed me to watch them again, and I watched some of it that first week, and I kind of followed up on it the week after, but it's been 3 weeks, and
I'm getting more into NXT on the network now because, this Nakamura, that guy, he had more moves than a Swiss watch.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an amazing match he had with Sami Zayn. I believe it was Sami Zayn's last match in NXT.
Yeah, I believe he's now full time on
Yep.
the main roster.
Finn Balor, Samoa Joe was a good match. For some reason, I think Samoa Joe has lost a little bit of his luster since he's been in NXT, because when he was in TNA, he was just an ass-kicking machine. And it just doesn't seem like he's got that fighting spirit again, unless it's just against Finn Balor.
Right.
Because he seems to have pretty good matches against Finn Balor. And now and now NXT, supposedly, I don't know if there's any definite rumors to it or not. We'll have our people look into it. That they've signed Bobby Roode.
He was at the NXT on Friday night, the night before WrestleMania, and he has come out. I read today that he had come out and saying, "I have not signed any contracts with WWE. It's still a negotiating period."
Okay.
So he hasn't officially signed. They're hoping he signs. I think it would be a benefit, especially if they're, you got to take into consideration this brand split that they're looking to do with, the wrestlers that aren't currently wrestling. You're gonna need extra bodies so you're not seeing, Heath Slater fight, Zack Ryder every week.
Right. And they were saying on one of the sites, I believe it was WWE.com that I read this on, a huge return slated for tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. I kind of got a little excited to read it and wondered who it was, and I'm looking at it, and Titus O'Neil.
Well, okay. You may say Titus O'Neil, but he was, we had talked about him possibly getting into, a title contention run somewhere. He could be a man that can come out there, and you want to bring him back heel. Maybe he could be the one to step into that Kalisto, feud and destroy Kalisto and take a title and get a little title run with that belt.
Right. So 724-444-7444 is our number to give us a call. Caller ID number 136391. We have our chat board up and running. This is the Top Rope Report with Mr. Trivia and the Nugster Greg. Do we have any kind of little bit of Nuggies news?
I got a few things I wanted to bring up. No official Nuggies news,
Take it away.
As we had said beforehand. Anybody that may have been watching our live stream before our show went on in a little pre-show meeting, that we had a couple calls we had scheduled that originally were scheduled for 12:30, which is typically the time that I do my Nuggies news.
Right.
And they were going to take up a better part of that, typically the last half hour that we do our show. So I just jotted a few things down just in case we had, some dead time, and this is the perfect time for that.
All right.
We're going to talk ladies. As we mentioned, we mentioned before, Brie Bella is going off to Aberdeen, Washington, or Phoenix, wherever they're actually living now. And she's going to try to do the baby making thing with Daniel Bryan.
Oh, lucky guy.
And come up with some, new participants for the future WWE Hall of Fame. And but she definitely did say in a WWE.com interview, it wasn't just some old little rumored interview, that she is not considering this a retirement, as she is stepping away, because there's once again a small window in a woman's life where it's safe to have children, and she wants to take advantage of that now. But if you noticed, obviously we mentioned this before, that Maryse, a little altercation on Monday Night Raw, where she came out, she slaps Zack Ryder's dad in the face, celebrates with The Miz in the ring, and then shows up on SmackDown as Miz's valet, and maybe you might be thinking, what's up with this?
Was it me, or did that look like a different guy than what went in the ring when Zack Ryder won? Because that was a big guy that was outside that ring.
Well, he had a tighter shirt on.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely the same guy, but he had a tighter shirt on, and he was definitely, looked like he could have stepped in a ring himself and gotten to,
looked pretty good since he bought my workout video.
So you're like, oh, so the question to me was, well, in my head, is she back, or is this just, because it's right around WrestleMania, and is she gonna, be gone again? Well, it has been confirmed she is back as an on-air talent. She'll be joining the Total Divas cast in the next season. 3 WWE Divas will be leaving the show. One is Amanda Sacramone, the runner-up in the Tough Enough competition.
Okay.
Alicia Fox will be be leaving Total Divas, and Rosa Mendez due to her pregnancy and everything. She'll be leaving Total
Any
Divas.
reason why Alicia Fox is leaving, or?
Well, these are the three people that are replacing them.
Okay.
Once again, our views are our personal views. Our comments are reserved for our rights only. It's nothing against anybody else personal. But Naomi is returning back to Total Divas. God forbid WWE have more than one black person on their show. My thoughts.
Yep,
Nobody
okay.
else's. But then they're adding Renee Young and Maurice. Now, when you look at, just hypothetically speaking, one thing that made the show so popular is, Nikki, Brie, John Cena, Daniel Bryan. Now you look at, okay, Mandy's got some boyfriend you never heard of. Alicia Fox, okay, he's got this boyfriend you never heard of. And then Rosa Mendez, she's pregnant, not really around the WWE now, with a boyfriend nobody ever heard of.
Right.
Renee Young, who's she with?
Dean Ambrose.
Maurice, who's she with?
The Miz.
Naomi, who's she with?
Uso.
Exactly. Brings more casual, my main interest in Total Divas was, not only that, it's got, 6 hot women, but you see the storylines with John Cena and Daniel Bryan who are interesting me.
Right.
Ratings have been slipping off a little bit. This is their way of trying to inject more viewers back into it that are, i.e., wrestling fans, not just wrestling fans' girlfriends or wives.
Okay.
So that's the main reason why she's back. And she definitely looks better than, as good as she ever did.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm sorry, Emma. I know I pledge my allegiance to you, Emma, but
that was kind of a mark out moment for me too, because when
Maurice is back, so
because when I
perfect
saw her,
timing,
it was
Ray
like
leaves.
Maurice back? Oh my God! And then she waffles Zack Ryder's old man outside. I was like, yeah, you could kind of see that was coming.
And then we actually, one other thing I'd written down as far as the women, I think the torch has officially been thrown, passed along to, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha with that match at WrestleMania. And I had written down, excuse me, best match at WrestleMania, question mark. There's a fourth name that I feel bad for because she kind of started this a while ago and kind of helped bring in, integrate with the NXT Divas, and that's Paige.
Yep.
She's kind of just been, she debuted the day after WrestleMania and beat AJ Lee and took the title away from her.
Right.
And just a short year later, she's, one of the Miss Irrelevance, just wrestling in matches that
kind of like
really
vanishing,
matter. Right. I know, I'm watching Total Divas, there's some personal issues that she has. Maybe those are things that caused her to get knocked down a notch or two on the ladder. But, she was also one of those, the first 4 that came in from NXT as far as the women go that really made a difference.
Right.
Chris Jericho. Thoughts on Chris Jericho? Obviously his feud with AJ Styles is over. Who should be the next person? Because he did say that, am I here next week? Yes. Am I here months from now? I don't know. But, I leave when I want to leave in an interview, playing the heel role in the interview. But he's definitely, and there's no tours that are, go online. There's no tours, scheduled anytime soon. So you got to imagine he's here at least through SummerSlam.
Right.
Who could Jericho possibly feud with next?
Cesaro?
That's one name that's been tossed around. Another name that's been tossed around is Apollo Crews.
Yep. Very impressive, by the way.
Yeah.
Formerly known as Uhaa Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very impressive. The man has tremendous agility for a guy his size, and I think that would be a great feud.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why you need to have people like Chris Jericho around. Is they can, on a moment's notice, start a campaign to help elevate someone else. And John Cena's kind of had gotten in that same role with the U.S. Champion Open Challenge. Would Kevin Owens be what Kevin Owens is right now if he didn't have that feud
Right.
with John Cena. Would Sami Zayn have gotten that, opportunity on the main roster if he didn't have that first match? That was a great match against John Cena. He's getting to that where I can help put somebody over, but he differently than Chris Jericho will always be in that world heavyweight title championship picture.
Exactly.
So my question about John Cena to you is, do you think he now or maybe this year or ever breaks Ric Flair's record for title?
Yeah, and I say that because I think the WWE, not only the powers to be, the writers, and everybody on down the line, but the universe, I think they want to see it. I mean, there has been speculation, there has been talk, there has been rumors about Roman Reigns going heel. If he goes heel, could we see John Cena, Roman Reigns type feud down the road? John Cena is one title win away from tying Ric Flair. I see him possibly tying Ric Flair by the end of this year for his 16th title reign. Who will it be against? Only time will tell. Maybe beating Ric Flair at WrestleMania next year, beating the title.
No, you don't mean him wrestling Ric Flair next
No,
year.
no,
Oh, it's gonna...
beating Ric Flair's title.
Woof!
No, that would
Oh
be
my
scary.
gosh, you scared me. I mean, the only thing worse than that would be saying Sting versus Flair as a title
Or
match.
Sting versus Taker, right? But and then possibly having him tie Ric Flair for 16 championships, hopefully by the end of the year, and then possibly at WrestleMania next year, the biggest show of the year, beating Ric Flair's title reign of 17 championships on the biggest stage of the year.
But
Can
then
it play out any better?
Well, I mean, then that would kind of be abandoning the John Cena Undertaker match, because I don't see Undertaker having a title going into WrestleMania next year. I mean, obviously many things can change between now and then, but I mean, yeah, they can always come up with some storied thing, but if you're thinking that they're gonna build Cena Undertaker, and the possibility of Undertaker having the belt and then Cena winning it would mean the Undertaker loses his last ever match at WrestleMania
Right.
for the WWE. I don't know, that'd be a tough one to, that would be a tough one as well. It's like that piece of steak that you eat, you just chew just enough and you can barely swallow it.
Yep. What would the WWE have been like now if Shane had defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania? What would that have put? What kind of frame of mind would that have put The Undertaker in? How would that have affected Shane? Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think if Undertaker had lost, I think it would more directly lead to The Undertaker being kind of like it was last year, involved in, several matches as opposed to just a WrestleMania match. Because there would have had to have been some storyline introduced where he said, eventually he would wrestle, somebody to say, I win, I go to WrestleMania, I lose, then I retire. Then he goes to WrestleMania and wrestles and retires anyways. But I think with the way it worked out now, it's kind of, he ran Raw anyways.
Right.
To kind of prove to his dad that he can do the job. Albeit more than likely Vince was still in back calling all the shots anyways, because that's what Vince likes to do. But I'm definitely, I don't know about you, but I'm really on the fence about this brand split thing. I wasn't a huge fan of it before. What are they going to do? Have their champions allowed to wrestle on both shows, or?
Well, I think that's why they're starting to bring up a lot of the NXT talent to get more talent for a brand split. If you took the guys that they have now and did a brand split, you'd have 5 guys on each show? If that. Now you've got Enzo and Kaz, you've got
The Vaudevillians.
The Vaudevillians,
Baron
you've got
Corbin.
Baron Corbin. You've got a lot of the
Finn
core.
Balor's ready to come up.
Yep.
You know, any day. I mean, you have Samoa Joe can come up.
You've got a lot of the core guys.
Everything I've read, Austin Aries is really, really impressing a lot of people down in NXT. And I'm not sure how much we've talked about it, but I mean, I always thought that Austin Aries could come into the WWE and fill that, you know, kind of quote unquote CM Punk role that they had. You know, this little badass kind of guy just says what he wants when he wants. But you know, from what I've read, you know, he's performing very well with a lot of talent that's in there. And it's not. I mean, we've seen, you've seen shows. You've gone independent shows. I've been to a couple with you. It's not easy for, you know, wrestling superstars to randomly wrestle people, because normally you have to have a nice, you know, flow with people you're wrestling, and that only comes with experience. But him just being able to step in a ring and, you know, put on great, you know, performances with, you know, random wrestlers that are in NXT, you know, just gives kudos to how good he actually is in a ring.
Right, and he's, you know, he was great on TNA.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the sky's the limit for Austin Aries in the WWE. Did you read something in an article that there's something going on with Decay in TNA? Something about an investigation, so to speak. I mean, I really didn't pay too much attention to it when it said TNA. I just kind of went off the other way.
I mean, do they have a character called Decay, or just are you
I
talking
mean, I don't
about
know.
the
It
whole
really
organization decaying?
No, the team, big Crazy Steve.
I
Abyss.
saw a brief, I think I saw a brief headline that had Crazy Steve and Abyss there, and it was on my Facebook wall, and I just scrolled right past it.
I know, because it said TNA. I just, you know, played it off, but
I see the MVP had gone to Lucha Underground
and got fired. Yep. So as Ken Hawk Harrelson would say, he's gone. But I never even knew he was on Lucha Underground.
I didn't know that until I read on Facebook today that he got fired.
I've never seen an episode of Lucha Underground, but I heard it's pretty good wrestling. I'm really not too interested in that, but you know, like I said before, we are live here on YouTube. You can go to Top Rope Report, all one word, space live. Catch us live here on Sundays. Possibly we might be changing times. Now
yes,
that
the jury's, you know, out on that, we'll have a, you know, backstage discussion
Right.
off air, but we'll definitely let people know.
We'll definitely keep people in the
advance, loop. You know, as to if and when we're switching the time of the show too.
Especially now that football
season. I had some, you know, personal commitments that didn't allow me to do our show at 2 o'clock like we used to do. But those commitments are now over. It's a little shit. I mean, Joey has, you know, moved back to Florida. So those commitments are no longer there. So, you know, if you folks have a suggestion, you know, hey, you know, maybe you don't like us on at noon because you're at church until 1, you know, just feel free. Message us on Facebook, whatever. Let us know. And, you know, we're here for you. You know, yeah, we both love talking wrestling, but,
exactly.
You know, I couldn't talk wrestling with Mr. Trivia if there weren't people out there to talk to. So, you know, throw us your comments and suggestions.
Yep, and you can, you know, like Greg said, you know, you can give us your comments or suggestions on the chat board that we have. You can Facebook us as soon as our blog is up and running on the website. You know, we want to definitely hear from the fans. We definitely want to hear what the fans think of the Top Rope Report and Mr. Trivia and the Nugster.
You sure?
Well,
you want to know what they think about
yeah,
us?
kind of. But, you know, is there something we could do to, you know, you want us to talk more about a certain superstar or a certain organization? You know, I do a lot of stuff with the indies. I was fortunate enough to see Blitzkrieg a couple weeks ago in Enfield. They're coming back. You know, there's Friday Night Fights for PWA. There's Mario Mancini and Paul Roma's Paradise Alley Wrestling, which are having another show on April the 30th at Joseph Malillo Middle School in East Haven. So as soon as I get the card from Mario, I'll be bringing that to you live. But, you know, we're here for you people. Give us a call, 724-444-7444. And like I said, our caller ID number is 136391 to get through to the show. We got 4 more minutes here before our caller is scheduled to call in. We're hoping that we haven't really had much luck with people calling in to the show lately, but hopefully, this guy's a man of his word. He's a great wrestler. He's a good talent. Still going strong. So hopefully he'll give us a call and hear what he has to say about his wrestling career and what's going on with ECPW. So we're definitely looking forward to it. But WWE is WWE. Sometimes they have good pay-per-views. Sometimes they have bad pay-per-views. I can't remember last year's Payback. I don't know if you know anything about last year's Payback as far as the pay-per-view went.
No, I for some reason, I even thought that it was a different name.
No, the Elimination Chamber was a different name. Which
for some reason, like my mind just went to it. But those of you out there that are watching this may have seen a puff of smoke come out of my ears. That I just, but I always thought there was a different pay-per-view by a different name right after WrestleMania. And for whatever reason, like I said, it just shot right out of my head. But no, I don't really remember much about Payback. I mean, I know a lot of it is, I believe, from what I remember, I always thought it was like Vengeance or something like that, or whatever. I don't know.
I thought Vengeance was after Payback. I have to get a list of the people in the office and see what the next couple of pay-per-views are. Like I said, there are 2 in the month of May.
Mm-hmm.
One on May 1st, one on May 22nd. Also, there's a wrestling show in Bridgeport, Connecticut on Saturday, May the 14th.
Oh, but more importantly, September, I believe it's 7th, which is a Wednesday, the band Kiss will be performing in Bridgeport. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Okay. For all you Kiss fans out there, you heard that here. But May the 14th, which happens to be our sponsor, KC Computers, Chris Crandall, happens to be his birthday. They will be in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and they'll be joined by WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana and a tag team that called our show during our 100th episode, Action Smash Demolition, will be on the show that day. Hopefully, the Top Rope Report will get a chance to get out there and check it out to see this colossus of a wrestler that they call Colossus, 500 pounds. And definitely looking forward to seeing this guy there in Bridgeport. So that's a wrestling show. I believe it's ECPW. We'll talk to our caller, Gino Caruso, when he gives us a call, see if he has anything to do with that show in Bridgeport on May the 14th.
Yeah, if there's anything going on the 14th, I've already got a wedding and kind of a little celebration thing. One of my coworkers at work, same time that I was in the hospital, started treatment for cancer, for throat cancer. And when I, saw her a couple weeks after that, we made the pact that when she was fully healed and, beat what she has, her, scans came back, she's totally cancer free. And we were, because I had a foot injury and she had a throat injury, that we were going to go dancing and do karaoke. And right now, tentatively scheduled for May 14th. So unfortunately, I've already got something, previously planned. But I'll be there, and if you're able to make it, I'll be there in thoughts.
Yep, great. And hopefully, we want to wish her a speedy recovery. Make sure you stay on the road to recovery. I happened to get a Facebook message the other day from a gentleman who works with the Nugster. Brian Charlton.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. He follows our show.
Yep. He's followed the Squared Circles. He was talking with my son, and he's like, well, do they know the Fogman? So he's actually been a fan of the Squared Circle.
Well, the Fogman is Center Ring.
That's right. Sorry. I apologize.
Don't let Fogman hear you say that. The shit will hit the fan if you hear that. But yeah, he's a fan of the Fogman. A lot of people are fans of the Fogman from Center Ring, and it was nice to hear from him. He's said some nice things about the show, and we're glad to have him aboard as a loyal Top Rope Report follower. So
as we have a few minutes, as we're hoping waiting for this call, I just pulled up my phone. the headline of the article is 8 matches that ensure a successful Payback pay-per-view.
Okay.
First match they list: The Miz versus Kevin Owens versus Zack Ryder versus Sami Zayn for the IC Championship, a fatal 4-way. Next match is they have Kalisto versus Sin Cara for the U.S. Championship title, which I think was a rumored match a while ago for
Right.
WrestleMania. The next match would be the returning of the Colognes versus the New Day for the tag team titles. I don't know why you take a tag team that's been off for several months and automatically throw them into title contention. But like I said, this is an article on Bleacher Report. Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. Don't know the benefits of that match for either one of them. Charlotte versus Natalya, which I can see with their little confrontation after
Right.
the celebration that they had, and the match that they had at Roadblock
Yeah.
was excellent.
Yep.
So I mean, I could see that match making sense. Becky Lynch versus Emma. Don't get it. Don't know why.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But I guess you need one of the 8 matches to be on the pre-show.
Right.
The League of Nations versus the Wyatt family, which is definitely intriguing to me. Then, once again, as you said, the Dudley Boys versus Enzo and Kaz.
Right.
And then, obviously, the championship that they have, Roman Reigns and AJ Styles. Just quick thoughts on a card that could possibly put up those matches.
Well, the question I want to bring to you is, whatever happened to the one-on-one Intercontinental title matches now? It seems like the last couple of IC title matches they've had have been triple threat, fatal 4-ways. I mean, is it something that they're trying to bring more luster back to the IC title again?
I mean, it's kind of, in my opinion, you don't have a true number one contender, and the IC title belt, even now, even heavyweight title belt, they change hands more often than they used to. You would hold the belt for months before, now it's weeks. So I think to keep more people relevant into the IC title picture, you got to add more names, and that's probably why you go to a fatal 4-way.
Okay. If you could put one faction in the WWE right now with all the people that they have in there right now, because, we got the League of Nations, we got, they're a faction, New Day's a 6-man tag team. But if you could take a faction and put them together in the WWE, who would you pick?
Oh, Jesus. And this is a question that could have been presented to me during our pre-show meeting where I actually had time to think. If you have one in mind, I'm going to tell you to go because it's going to take me a little while to put that all together. I mean,
I was thinking maybe Dean Ambrose, a returning Randy Orton, Cesaro, and possibly AJ Styles. Putting that as a faction together. Now, rumor had it a couple months ago that the WWE wanted to rebrand AJ Styles.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Change his name to CJ Fashions.
And team him up with Tyler Breeze.
And team him up with Tyler Breeze, who, by the way, is 0-49 in the WWE.
Who, Tyler Breeze?
Yes. They put that on one of the websites, and they talked to him about, how do you feel about being 0-49 in the WWE? He's never won a match in the WWE.
Really?
Yep. And that was, unless it was just, something that was put up there for a joke or what, but they had a thing there that said Tyler Breeze, 0-49 in the WWE.
I mean, I can't remember. I'm sitting here with this little bewildered look on my face, and I'm, trying to think in the back of my head if I ever remember seeing him actually win a match. There were plenty of times that he was at ringside with his selfie stick and Summer Rae, and he would interfere in matches. where he would come out on top of that aspect of it. But yeah, I can't ever recall ever seeing him win. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So this is the Top Rope Report. Now broadcasting live on YouTube. Like I said, you can reach us live at Top Rope Report, all one word, /live, to catch us here live on YouTube every Sunday. TalkShoe.com, Spreaker, iTunes. The list just goes on and on. And, you know, we're here a little while longer, waiting on our 1 p.m. He's 6 minutes late. On our,
Maybe a faction with. I'm trying to think of like how you can mix somebody like old school and new school together, and kind of call it the School of Hard Knocks. Where you, like first things that came to my mind were like the Dudleys, and team them up with, like just say Cass and Enzo and Cass. You take two like veterans who've been around for a while, Jericho and Ziggler, and you have them team up with, newer guys to the WWE, like I don't know, Finn Balor and my mind, like I'm just throwing names out there right now, but maybe something to that effect. A faction, the School of Hard Knocks, where you have, two guys that have been around the block for a while, that have been in the WWE. Maybe even, and then a couple guys coming up from NXT. Maybe even, although it would be going against it, but I mean, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn used to be great friends. Maybe they get over their feud and they're half of that foursome, with a Ziggler and Cesaro. Two guys that have been in the WWE, and it's called School of Hard Knocks. I'll throw that one out. That's my
Okay.
foursome. That's kind of, I would rebrand, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, after their little feud, kind of have a shaking hand moment because they've ended their,
Right.
they've fought their differences through, and then, Paul Heyman comes out and says, these are my guys now, and we're gonna take you all to the School of Hard Knocks.
Yep. Sounds perfect to me. I remember years ago they had WCW versus WWE some years back when they had the invasion. What are the chances of possibly Team WWE versus Team NXT? And what kind of matches would you like to see come out of that? I mean, I would love to see like Austin Aries, AJ Styles. I would love to see Nakamura against Kalisto. Those guys got, you can't really blink during those matches because you'll miss something. Those guys are quicker than a
Right.
hiccup.
Right.
I mean, is that something that, you'd like to see the WWE possibly plan somewhere down the future?
Honestly, no. I think NXT is great on its own. I think bringing up wrestlers from NXT, is a good idea. When they get ready, because I mean, once again, it is WWE Entertainment. You not only have to be a wrestler, but you have to have the ability to entertain. And in WWE, unfortunately, that has to do with being able to talk on a mic, interviews and in-ring promos, stuff like that. So to bring some of these guys up from NXT that maybe are a little bit green might not work as well. But I love NXT the way where it is. Once again, technically speaking, it's their developmental league. You start out there and they put you in matches, and then they elevate you and see how you respond to that. And then if you respond good, then they elevate you to the main roster. So I wouldn't be into even less so into an NXT versus WWE feud as I would be into a, Raw versus, I guess they would say, Raw versus WWE feud.
Right. For WrestleMania, when they had the Team Diva, that match, we really didn't see much from Lana.
No, she was in the ring for, I did see a poll that they, asked who was the best looking one of the 10 Divas match, and she obviously, was the one that was voted the hottest of them all.
Mm-hmm.
But no, she really didn't interact in the ring much at all.
Okay.
I mean, but that's one of those things where, even Rhea wasn't in the match too long. She was in just long enough. Yeah, and we've seen with wrestlers that kind of maybe are nursing a little injury, where they'll put them in a 6-man tag matches where the match itself will be 20 minutes, but maybe they're only in for a few minutes. They make that the one big save, and maybe they win the match, or maybe they help win the match to help with a little lingering injury because they don't want to put them out there themselves for 15 minutes because then that injury may get aggravated.
Right.
So I mean that's kind of the same thing with them. You know what? We'll just want to go in there for a few minutes, couple kicks, couple slaps, couple this, couple that, and then see where it goes from there.
Right, and that's just something that she made a couple splashes with Brie Bella, and I actually thought that there was going to be something to come of it, and nothing really happened, and but she was just basically there for eye candy,
Yeah.
so to
Yes.
speak. And
Yes. I wish. I mean, the outfit she had on was nice. I just wish there was a little less of it.
Right, exactly. But so yeah, this is 1640 PWPR Pro Wrestling Podcast Radio, live on broadcasting on YouTube. This is illustrious Mr. Trivia along with the Nugster Greg. Like I said, this is our first venture live on YouTube. We will be starting this up officially starting next Sunday. This is kind of like our rough draft,
Right.
so to speak. We're going to be working on an entrance after we're done here today, and next week is going to be the real deal. We'll have the microphones and
isolated cameras where
Yep.
you get to see close-ups of our ugly mugs. So it's kind of scary and nerve-wracking, but hey, we're
Yep.
we're
as long as you don't
getting
have
better.
anything from the back of me where you can see the big bald spot in the back, we don't want to.
Well, that's why the lights were off because I was told by
Is
the
that what it
backstage
was?
that the lights would probably be reflecting off of that bald spot and
Okay.
causing a glare on camera.
I see how it is.
But the IC title match, you never really spent much time on. I know you gave props to Zack Ryder, but overall, as far as that match goes, what did you think of that match?
I thought they had too many people in it.
Too many people?
7 people in a ladder match. I don't know which one to keep an eye on. It's like, man, everybody.
Keep an eye on the 2 that are in the ring because the other 5 are knocked out and outside.
Some of those guys were taking a beating.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. Kevin Owens went right through that ladder. It was just something that I even went, ooh,
Yeah.
that had to hurt. But it's a brutal match. I was surprised to see, like I said, kudos to Zack Ryder. I was surprised to see him actually win the title, pushing Miz off the top of the ladder, which was funny as hell. I enjoyed that. Anything that happens to Miz is enjoyable. But
and it was funny because I had spoken with Little Nugster when we actually went out and spent a Father Sunday because she was leaving a couple days after that. And we were talking about the matches, and I mentioned to that I had read online because I'm one of those guys. I like to go and get the odds for people winning matches.
right,
And I was talking about that one, and I think Sami Zayn was like 9-2 favorite to win the match. Kevin Owens was 4-1, but the 3-1 favorite to win that match was Zack Ryder. And I started joking. I said, well, I read that, but then I had to look at the rest of the odds for the matches, thinking maybe it was just a BS story. But then I'm like, no, it said okay, and kind of like wow, it's like yeah, it's just. And then I smacked myself in the back of the head for not going with that information. But yeah, well, so it was a surprise, but not a shock when I saw him win. I'm like, damn it, those fuckers were right.
Yep, I even said to Tony Black, it was like, wow, are you serious? Zack Ryder, the Intercontinental Champion? I was just like totally dumbfounded right after that happened. Then you knew something was going to happen when they said that there was going to be a rematch on Monday Night Raw the next night.
But the funny thing is, it's a rematch, but it wasn't all 7 guys. It was just 2 of them.
Right. So it's something that, like I said, I was kind of hoping that maybe Zack Ryder would have been a 2-time champion on SmackDown, but that didn't happen, and maybe somewhere along the line you might see Zack Ryder as IC champ or US champion again.
So you think his stay on the roster now is going to be prevalent, where we'll see him routinely on
I think so.
the TV shows?
I think so. He's not a bad talent. You just got to give him a little kick in the ass or a little spark, so to speak, and
Right. I don't picture him as the wrestler to be able to quote unquote carry a match. I definitely see him as one of those wrestlers that, you know what, he has to be in a match with another good wrestler, another good talented wrestler, to be able to pull off a good match. Like, you
Right.
couldn't put him in a match with, you know, you put him in a match with Tyler Breeze and it's going to be a bathroom match. You put him in a match with Kevin Owens, then there's, you know, he can wrestle, so that would make it an interesting match. That's, you know, kind of the way that I look at him.
right. And we originally had 2 callers for today. Gino Caruso was scheduled to call at 1 o'clock. We don't know what happened. And IWF ladies wrestler Michelle D, who is involved heavily with the Ken Reedy show as well, contacted us and said she wanted to speak with us. And we were going to have her call, but, you know, we wanted to give Gino Caruso his time to call and talk with us. And Gino hasn't called, and I wanted to push Michelle back to Wednesday to do a separate interview with just you and I, and she just sent me a message saying that Wednesday works better for her,
That's perfect.
and I sent her a message and said, well, if you want to call us now, it would be okay because Gino didn't call, but we'll go with Wednesday.
Yep.
And
That's
it's just something that, you know, I mean, if she calls now, okay. If she calls on Wednesday, we'll definitely set up a time for her to call us and discuss her IWF title match.
Mhm.
You know, her and Ken Reedy have just broken into the independent wrestling business. Hopefully Michelle can walk out as IWF champion, and you know, we'll definitely be talking to her about that on Wednesday. But I guess we're going to be coming to the end of another edition of the Top Rope Report, our first one live on YouTube.
Yes.
Hopefully many more to come. We hope that your fans have enjoyed it as much as we do. And any parting words before we go, Greg? Or
No, it's just, you know, the long, winding road to WrestleMania 33, a journey that me and Mr. Trivia are going to take next year. Once again, it's got me saying to myself, you know what? I almost feel like I want to go to bed as early as I can every day and wake up as late as I can to make the days go by faster. You know, really excited for something. You know, once again, it's not always you get a chance to wipe something off your bucket list, but this is one thing I'm going to get to wipe off my bucket list.
exactly. So I'm definitely going to be so excited. I mean, as a matter of fact, we might even be able to get a chance to take in the Access. We might even get a chance to take in the Hall of Fame, depending on who's in it. I know, you know, we have going to be having a little trust fund set off to the side for us so that we can, you know, make a good weekend of it. But I want to go on record right now saying that the Hall of Fame, the Top Rope Report, will attend next year's Hall of Fame, and I will take care of your Hall of Fame ticket if Daniel Bryan is inducted. Because I know next to your son being born, you being married, and sitting here next to Mr. Trivia every week, that's going to be the highlight.
Well, I mean, married, Daniel. I'm kidding.
But we're going to be looking forward to that. And Greg, was another wonderful episode of the Top Rope Report. So for the Nugster Greg, this is the illustrious Mr. Trivia for the Top Rope Report saying we'll see you at the matches. Well, okay, we're off now.
Well, we're still on.
Right, well, we're still on. But we got to get us off here now, Chris, and see how that supposedly came out. Like I said, Michelle will be joining us Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect.
We'll get in touch with her, and
You know, nothing against anybody, but this is why I've always suggested not